And we're live! Hello, everybody! It's so good to see all your non-existent faces! Don't mind me as I really quickly adjust my own webcam overlay. You do not see the man behind the curtain. Hi! It's so great to have you all here. Welcome to episode 9 of our main campaign. The title is Somewhere Between Mud and Heaven. My name is Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. I am the GM and executive producer behind Transplanar RPG. As a person, I'm interested in horror, screenwriting, improv, monstrosity, and myth-making. You can find me on Twitter at @byconniechung and on Twitch and Tumblr at @dandaddyissues. I'm going to pass along introductions to Max.
Hello, I'm Max. I go by they, them pronouns. I played Dewey Quirk, the Aarakocra Ranger, in our campaign. And outside of D&D, I am interested in things like cosplay and fostering cats and what else? Video games. You can find me on Instagram and Tumblr at Starchmonk. Tell us about yourself, C.
Oh my god, hey, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I am a digital artist, dancer, performer, jack of all trades. It's maybe what I should just start saying this too much. I'm a real life cowboy, and I'm super excited to be here. I play Øka. I think I already said this because it just comes out of my mouth so fast, but I use they, them pronouns, and so does Øka, who is an Aasimar blood hunter, and I'm going to pass it right along to keep... Oh, yeah, you can follow me. You can follow me on social media, on Twitter at PieSharpArt or on Tumblr at Pie-Sharp, and I'm going to pass it right along to Devin.
Hello, my name is Devin. I use they, them pronouns. I play Manaia. She's tall, she's strong. I love her a lot. I don't have an internet presence, but you can find me on our Discord. I think mods can only do exclamation Discord. Nightbot will do that at some point as well. For the link, yeah. That's about it for me.
Erica.
Excellent. I am an Erica. I am a she, her, and I play Vinox Scherzo. The thing you should know about me is that I'm a clown, so I will haunt you in your dreams unless you come follow me at Erica New Girl, both here on Twitch and I guess Tumblr, even though I'm like not on that very much, and Twitter and Instagram, and I'm gonna pass it now to Connie.
Erica, I'm so sorry. I went to pass it on to you, but I thought you were already gone.
It's okay. It happens all the time. I would like to actually pass the baton to C, who has a special message.
Yeah, first of all, Erica's not kidding. She will haunt your dreams because she is a clown. Second of all, we'd like to open our episode, as always, by saying, fuck Wizards of the Coast, and you can use the exclamation point WOTC command in chat at any time to get a full statement on our stance. And we can just get a nice juicy fuck Wizards of the Coast in the chat right now. Thank you.
Yes.
And I'll pass it back on to Connie to talk about our future programming, please, and thank you.
Yes, thank you. As a reminder, we play our main campaign every other Saturday. So episode 10 is coming out on our spooky special scary Halloween episode, Saturday, October 31st at 3 p.m. Central until 5 p.m. Central on Twitch as always. Lecture 7 of Professor Chong's Tabletop Workshop, which is my GM advice series, streams next Saturday, October 24th at 3 p.m. Central, and every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central is our solo gaming night, where one member of our cast plays through a video game of their choice, while every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central is our group gaming night, where the entire Transplanar cast gets together and plays a video game together. Yay! So join us at 7 p.m. Central this Tuesday, October 20th for Overwatch with me, or potentially Final Fantasy XIV with Devin, or potentially Hades with C. Sorry, I forgot that's what we decided. C is going to play through Hades. For group gaming night this Wednesday at 7 p.m. October 21st Central for all of us together putting the finishing touches on our Barbie dream/nightmare house in The Sims 4. There may or may not be an oversized rubber duck in Erica's room in The Sims 4 that will be there for eternity. So C, why don't you take it away with promo partnerships?
Yeah, but before I do that, Connie, is there something else special about that episode on the 31st on Halloween? Is there something else that's special that's about that episode? I don't know, maybe.
Yes, absolutely. We're excited to announce that we're hosting a 1K Twitter follower celebration on that Halloween with a 12-hour marathon stream. What the heck? From 12 p.m. noon Central to midnight Central on October 31st into November 1st, I suppose. Programming is going to include, as I mentioned earlier, episode 10 10 of our main campaign from 3 to 5, exclusive premiere of our horror podcast that I am writing, C tattooing themselves on stream, video games, party games like Never Have I Ever, Two Truths and a Lie, Truth or Dare, whatever, jam sessions, video games, poetry readings, a dance party, and much, much more. So drop in literally anytime from noon to midnight Central on Halloween, October 31st, right here, Twitch, Transplanar RPG, and say hi. We would love to have your presence in chat. And with that, I'm going to pass it along to you, C.
Thank you so much, Connie. We're also super proud to present our promo partnerships with other BIMPOC, queer folks, and or trans folks in the tabletop community. So use our promo partners, ! Or rather, ! Promo partners at any time for a full list of the folks in that scrolling marquee from our waiting rooms. And we have a special partnership with Games by B, who makes one-of-a-kind homemade custom D&D and tabletop accessories on their Etsy store. All Transplanar fans get 10% off anything in their store with the coupon code Transplanar10, so you should really do that right now because they're amazing. And for a link to their store, you can use the ! Games by B in chat, or just go to Games by B at Etsy. And speaking of stores, we're also super excited to say that our official merch store is up and running. You can use the ! Merch command to access our Redbubble page and get stickers, t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, iPhone cases, hats, masks, anything you want. Finally, we're super... Oh, right. Oh, wow. I was supposed to do that. Sorry, I didn't read.
That's okay.
I was supposed to talk about this. I'm so sorry, Connie. Wow.
It's okay.
Well...
I jumped right ahead and did it, so you don't have to worry about it. Do you want to move on to Erica?
Yeah, Erica, tell us about our donor.
Yeah, we would love to acknowledge everyone who has subscribed, donated, gift subbed, resubbed, and or gave bits during Session 8, Lecture 6 of Professor Chong's Tabletop Workshop, and our solo and group video game nights. Saga, Scruffusus, Cello Kelly, Questing Time, Improbable Penguin, Bangle Org, Stormy Robot, Ricka Honda, D&D Daddy Issues, B13, Herboria, Haname Creates, Steve Geddes, and my favorite, Bonk. Thank you so much for your overwhelming generosity and support. And we're really excited, everybody. As you can see on our overlay, our current donation goal is $120. We are $19 away from hitting our next goal, where a second player-related backstory B-plot will become unlocked. Connie will roll a d4, and whosever name comes up will have their B-plot activated as soon as possible. Moreover, every $15 donated lights up a star on our overlay, which grants 1 point of collective inspiration to the party. To donate, you can use the ! Tip command.
Yes, thank you so
Let's
much,
go.
Erica.
I'm so scared.
And don't forget, our Channel Point community challenge was hit, so now there's an auto crit. Boom! Active on the overlay. That means at any point until that is used up, anyone, including myself as a GM, can use an auto crit to make one of their rolls just automatically succeed. So y'all better use it before I do, just so y'all know. And now, Max, would you like to recap what happened last session?
Yeah. As a reminder, you can always access our written recap of every episode using ! Recap in the chat, or by going to bit.ly/transrecap. Here's what happened last session. Dewey, Øka, Manaia, and V learn from Mama Fish that the workers in the Ujval mines are being taken by the Raid, which are inexplicable waves of aggression that compel the afflicted to lash out violently, and then flee deep within the Godspine. Plus, a strange tunnel has magically opened up at the end of the Ujval mines. The party decides not to investigate the tunnel, and instead scour Dabathati for answers and resources first.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And finally, Devin, can you tell us about our title of the episode this week?
Yeah, so like every other episode, we have a title, and each title comes from a poem. Today's title is Somewhere Between Mud and Heaven, and that is not a typo. The author, Seth, wrote all of the instances of the word between in that poem as btwn. And it's from Somewhere Between in a book called A Black Odyssey. Where is it? I swear I have it right here. A Black Odyssey by Seth. The whole verse reads, Somewhere between mud and heaven, this forgetting, this never knowing the known, this denying what, like bone, permeates our imperviousness to we. And I'll pass it back to Connie, because we have one small special announcement in terms of the content of this episode.
Yes, we do. So moving on to the session itself, some content warnings for this episode may include panic attacks, described and enacted in detail, claustrophobia, described and enacted in detail, and the following described in vague terms or heavily implied: imprisonment, torture, dismemberment, body mutilation, and forced drugging. So if you want at any time to remind yourself what the content warnings are for this episode, use !CW for content warning in chat. Go ahead.
And if any of those things are preventing you in any way from watching the episode, do not worry. None of those will be in any of our recaps. And don't feel obligated to have to watch the whole episode.
Yes.
Everything will be in the recap document if you want to read what happens.
Yeah, without having to witness it. If I know things are going to happen as a GM, I'll also do a content warning a few moments before I say or describe what's going to occur. And if players could do that as well, if you know that what you're going to do might be triggering to our audience, and give a pause, and then so people can exit out if they need to. Great. So we begin, as always, with a poem I wrote, a gift to my players. The girl wakes begging, like a machine about to be smashed. The cold fingers of nightmare strung around her eyes. You lecture her on chemicals and illusions, the spaces between spaces, how everything has a design, a particular manipulation. I, too, feel closer to people when I make things. Bread, gold, yarn, problems. Writing about your problems is not the same as solving them. You can't outthink grief. Even rivers grow tired of running. Look how she averts her gaze. Ear cocked with a question she'll never ask you. Her mouth full of hooks you're too busy to pull out. The distance between who you are and who you need to be is swallowed by a woman beating her fists against your chest. How many times are you letting someone else carry a bomb you opened? Fear demands to be felt, not untangled. So does pain. So does love. All your memories vanishing into a pinhole. You wake clutching your face. You can't outthink a dream. And now we begin the episode with a dice roll. We have reached all the donation goals for our next subplot. So Erica's has already been activated. And if y'all remember, when Erica's subplot was activated, that made for one of the most memorable episodes in our campaign thus far. So why don't the remaining, C, Devin, and Max, why don't you all pick a number between 1 and 4? And between 1 and 3. And if we roll a 4, I'll roll it again. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So Øka is 1, Manaia is 2, and Dewey is 3. Are we ready? Are we ready?
No, I'm so not ready. Oh my god.
Should I even tell you what I get? Or should I just
Good luck.
save it until the end?
Wait, you should say.
I'll save it.
You should save it.
That was a 4, so I'm gonna re-roll it. That was also a 4. I'm gonna re-roll it again.
It really
That was
wants to be
also a
sexual.
4! I swear to God, I'm not making this up. 3 4s in a row.
That's fucked.
Okay.
I wanna know.
Okay. We'll find out. We'll find out whose subplot, whose trauma we're gonna drag up this episode. Are y'all ready? Hop on the choo-choo train to Grief Town, bitches.
God.
So let's start the episode for real. With a marketplace. Dewey. After splitting with the party, your taloned feet find themselves planted in front of a extremely exuberant storefront. In common, the letters read, Amara's Arcane Armor and Ammunition. which you would know is a magical armor and weapon store that is ubiquitous across Andake, that only exists in the capitals scattered across the land. Magical items are only available for purchase by commoners in capitals. Otherwise, you can purchase magical items, weapons, armor, what have you, at special auctions that are invite only. But you do know that an invitation is difficult to acquire, so here you find yourself at Amara's Arcana Armor and Ammunition, also known colloquially as AAA. No relation to the car company in real life. Everywhere you hear bustling voices, you smell food being grilled on sticks at various stands around you. You hear mothers calling for children, and you can sort of feel the humidity of a midday, early morning heat beginning to settle in this mountain stronghold of Dabathati. What do you do?
He reaches a hand to check on, make sure the sword on his back is secured.
Okay.
Which is right in.
As you stride through the threshold, you pass underneath a logo for AAA that resembles sort of like a braying elephant in warm colors, reds, orange, browns, golds. And as you walk through the threshold, you feel the sword strapped to your back vibrate with excitement. And you hear a muffled voice in your head go, "Oh, I feel other things like me in here. Father, where are you taking me?"
I ignore it, and I head for... Is there like a counter with...
Yes, in here it's not super busy. You see other people, you assume they're adventurers based on their rugged visages, the leather armor, and the weapons strapped to their body. You do notice there seems to be one, like, shop person in here. Behind the counter, a Loxodon woman. If you don't know what a Loxodon is, it's like an elephant person. She's very tall, almost as tall as Manaia, like 7 feet, let's say, because she's a literal elephant person, okay, Manaia? The only people taller than Manaia are elephants and Goliaths, I think is what we've realized. She has pure skin, sort of like gray marble, and she's wearing a chain shirt outfitted with countless iridescent coils, and a golden nose ring with a ruby is threaded through her nostrils at the end of her trunk-like nose. She seems to be helping a young halfling girl and her mom at the counter. What do you do, Dewey?
I want to stand a safe distance away from the two people who are being helped.
Okay.
Keep an eye out, like, make sure, just looking around a little bit nervously.
Okay, roll perception.
Okay.
Dewey, as you're looking around, what you notice without even a perception roll is there's just, like, various armor, from light to heavy, ranging from, leathers and furs and pelts to, like, full plate, just, like, all around. Some of them are, like, labeled, like, ooh, glimmering, this never gets dirty, like, stuff like that, all around. And you see, like, pieces of ammunition, like crossbow bolts, arrows sort of stacked in quivers in, like, glass cases. There don't seem to be too many swords or axes or anything like that. This mostly just seems to be armor and, like the name says, ammunition. What did you get?
I got a 10.
A 10. That's all you see. You don't notice anything else.
I make a mental note of the glimmering
armor. Ever clean armor, yes.
To mention it to me.
Sure. Eventually, the halfling girl and her mother step away from the counter, and as you step up to take your place in line, you pass by one such display case of ammunition, and you see one is labeled Unbreakable. Shatter the hide of an armored bull. This will never break, about the arrow. And as you step up to the counter, this Loxodon woman turns her sparkling gaze upon you and says, "Hi there! Can I help you?"
That's a good question. Do you offer disenchantment services?
Disenchantment services? What do you mean?
I have something I need to not be magical anymore.
You're enchanted? Well, you look like a normal Aarakocra to me, Sonny.
No, I have some. I'm not enchanted. I'm a person.
Is it your sword, then? at this, your sword vibrates even more, and you see like her glimmering eyes fall upon the slightly quivering hilt, and her
I slap
trunk.
my hand over it.
Okay, you roll sleight of hand against her perception. Let's say she got a nat 20.
I got a nat 1. So I literally just go.
But your hand vibrates on the hilt, let's say, and it just like makes her hand move. And her trunk, as it's swaying, you know, as she's been talking, it suddenly freezes. She looks at you and says, and then there's like a pause, an odd look on her face. Would you like to try to discern what the look is?
Sure.
Roll insight.
Oh shit, that's a 21.
Wow, okay. As you peer at her, she looks both surprised, taken aback, and there's a glimmer in her eye that looks similar to like the glimmer you might find on an urchin's face when they find a nice fat gold coin on the ground. And then her trunk starts swaying again. She says, "Oh, you want to disenchant that thing? It looks pretty powerful to be moving on its own. How about this? I'll buy it off ya. Eh?"
I would.
100 gold.
Okay, first of all, my craftsmanship is, I think. But, never mind. I just need something disenchanted. Can you do that for me?
Sure thing, Sonny. How much money are we working with here? Because my services are quite luxurious, I must say, for things beyond just the bread and butter of my store. I'm Amara, by the way. And you recall that the name of the store is Amara's Arcane Armor and Ammunition. So, what's your budget here, Sonny?
I scoop out all the gold coins I have, which is 10.
I don't think I can do any disenchantment for you for 10, but like I said, if that's what you're talking about, she gestures with her trunk toward the hilt of your quivering sword. Why don't you pull it out and let me take a look, and I can maybe eyeball a nice price for you, or we could maybe come to a compromise of sorts?
I don't want it out in the world.
A dangerous one, is it, Sonny? I understand. Amara ain't no snitch. And she lifts her trunk skyward and says, "Stores closed for lunch break. All patrons out, please." And as the other patrons sort of grumble and they begin to file out, she looks at you and says, "Except you. Come to the back with me." And she gestures for you to move behind the counter. And on that, we are going to rubber band to two... Ba-choong! We're gonna cut to two people striding through an utterly different part of Dabathati. Here was Suraksha, where all the shops were, all community centers, gardens, and now we're in Thristi, which is sort of the entertainment arts heart of the capital city of the Republic of Talmud. And here we find Øka and Manaia walking down a street. A particular street that, Øka, you are actually very familiar with, given your history with Dabathati. You're walking down what's known as the Quad, which is short for quadrant, which is a square mile of hotels, hostels, casinos, specifically, expensive residentials, theaters, exclusive nightclubs, and other entertainment venues. This is where you, just based on your understanding of the city, are headed to in order to figure out a way to get into the monster fighting pits, based on what you told me you wanted last session. As you're walking, there's like it's early, it's like 10 a.m., so there's not too many people out and about, but there are the usuals, you know, sitting out in front of like gambling parlors. You see like people starting to set up shop, like set up, like you see like wizards beginning to like throw their hands at signs to light them up in like neon colors, you know, in preparation for the rest of the day. You see like some hawkers, you know, like sign spinners beginning to set up their signs and whatnot. What do you do?
Is it 10 a.m. or is it noon?
I thought y'all said you were going to reconvene for lunch. So it's currently the morning. It's around 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Or we can say it's in the
okay.
afternoon if it doesn't matter too much and y'all are reconvening for dinner instead.
I have a slight preference for that, but
Okay.
again, can be flexible.
Is that okay with everyone? We could say it's like mid-afternoon then, instead of early morning.
Are we going to the mines then to the next day?
That's up to y'all.
It might be smart.
Like the next day, just
Sure.
spend this day to investigate and the next day go to the mines?
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay with everyone?
Yes. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Glad we talked about it. Let's go back in character. Øka, scratch what I said. It's a lot more busy. The sign spinners aren't in full force. They look kind of tired. The signs are glowing. It's neon. That's happened. You're walking down the quad. What do you do?
Øka is kind of shifty eyes looking back and forth. They're like twin pupils, like bouncing just kind of across the street. But they seem more distracted than anything else, even though they're looking everywhere at once. Their eyes don't actually seem to be focusing on anything, and they're rubbing the front of their, like the collar of their shirt so much that like the button has come undone a little bit, and they're just like, they're like tugging on it a little bit as they walk. This is where a potential content warning for a panic attack might occur, so I'm just going to pause for a moment. And I'll continue now. I think if maybe we reach a part of the street that's a little quieter, or on such busy streets, people don't really hear much. Øka's going to kind of like bounce their eyes up to Manaia like a few times before actually speaking. And do you have a lot of nightmares, Manaia? Like, you dream? Do you dream in nightmares a lot?
Not frequently, but I've had a few.
What are they like? What are they like? What have you been dreaming about?
Without divulging too much, you know I'm from the Southern Isles, Uhanahi.
Sure.
And I favor the ocean, I favor freedom. Most of my dreams are either me being stranded on land, or so far under the surface of the ocean I can't get back up. Other than that, we get into some personal things, but...
Sure. It's just this morning, I don't dream. I don't. It's like you can dream about being underwater, or you can dream about anything, right? But I don't. I haven't in a really long time. Nothing. Empty. Nothing. Not just I don't remember when I wake up, I don't. I know that I don't.
Oh, okay. And Manaia bends down a little bit. Are you alright?
I had a dream for the first time. I had a dream for the first time and so fucking long I can't even remember. And I can't remember it anymore, but I know that it happened. It's not like every other time.
Whoa. Slow down. Take a breath. Keep going.
I'm afraid. The doctor told me that I was sick. Is kind of what I gathered from that. And that there was something happening with my soul. And after that, this morning, I'm afraid. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to where I was. I don't want to dream anymore. I don't want to.
it's good to be able to know what you want. I'm proud of you for processing this, and I'm proud of you for knowing where you want to go moving forward.
It
We
doesn't
have-
feel like forward.
Every
But-
step is a step forward.
What if I'm just walking around in circles over and over again?
Funny thing about circles, you go through them enough, you start to notice things you didn't notice last time or the time before. And maybe, sure, you don't want to be in that circle again. And maybe it takes a gust of wind, maybe it takes seeing land, maybe it takes going for a swim to get out of it. I encourage you to find an ocean to swim in. I'll tell you what. We're here in the city. We've got just a few hours left of daylight. Let's finish what we're doing here. We'll go back to the mines. And if you're alright with it, I'll take the bed next to yours. And if you ever need anything, I'll be right there for you.
Øka kind of settles back a little bit. Nods slowly. You know, maybe we're going around in circles, but at least the company's nice. Okay. I think this is probably the end of the content warning, I would say. For that, potentially.
Cool. Sounds good. That was awesome, guys. Why don't both of you take a point of inspiration? That was really, really nice. Let me try to find y'all's inspiration things. There we go. And one for C. Great, lovely. As you sort of wrap up this conversation, Øka, you find memory leading your feet to the front of a specific casino that you, historically, you know this is this is one of many front organizations for the Aurochs Guild, which runs these monster fighting rings, and based on your memory, this was how you got into the pits when you lived here a couple years ago. This casino dominates the quad. Its roots sprawl out in every direction. There are like mini little rooms that, you know, it controls. It's like the thing to go to in the quad. And there's like a huge line actually that wraps out front, even though it's barely like 4 p.m. There's like steps leading up to it. And sort of in like a inverse or a mockery, almost, though they would say it is a tribute to Udabathi, there are 3 main entrances into the Queen's Gambit. All 3 of them sort of look like open mouths. But instead of an orc, an elf, and a dwarf, the mouths are a tiefling, a half-elf, and a human. There's just 3 different ways to get in. What do you do?
I'm gonna lead Manaia to the human door.
Okay.
And is there? You said that there was a line to get in, eh?
Indeed. Wrapping out of the tiefling mouth specifically. You know that each mouth sort of deposits you to a different area of the casino. The most popular one are usually the slot machines, which is the tiefling. Games of pure luck.
Are there bodyguards?
Yeah, there are bouncers. They're sort of loitering around, you know, keeping a loose eye on things.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna lead us through the human mouth.
You know this
at
place?
will. I've been here before, once or twice. It's a good place to go if you study monsters. We learned a lot here.
Buttons up her cloak, further closing the things in her inner pockets.
Okay. As you stride up to the human mouth, it is the one that has the smallest line, let's say. You would know that this deposits patrons into games of what they call pure skill, but you know that's not really true in a casino. This is stuff like poker, like mahjong, games where you stand a chance based on your skill level. And as you walk up to the human mouth, you see a big burly elf bouncer look down up at Manaia, down at you, Øka, but up at Manaia, but he doesn't say anything. It sort of lets you pass. And as you walk through this gaping mouth, you smell instantly alcohol and smoke. People can smoke in here freely, and there's bars everywhere. Everywhere you turn, there's a bar. There's a person getting served alcohol, and you see just tables upon tables of green felt, tiles clattering against the felt, men arguing with each other over cheating, accusations of cheating, and women in fine dresses smoking long cigars, looking at each other with condescension, and long white gloves. This is what you see when you walk in. I don't know if Øka would know. Why don't the two of you, if you're interested, something about the name The Queen's Gambit rings familiar in both of your heads. If you want to, I'll allow you to make a history check to see if you can dredge up that information.
Oh, I'll be doing that. Thank you.
I can't cough on command, but Manaia coughs twice.
Okay.
22.
22, Manaia?
I'm not going to roll. The queen just reminds her of Queen Cocoa.
Sounds good.
Which she doesn't want to touch.
I like that choice. 22! Because you rolled so high, Øka, you know that the name actually rings familiar because of two things. One is a chess opening by the same name, wherein white sacrifices a wing-side pawn in exchange for early control of the center of the board. And two, the event that the chess move is named after, the Gambit of Queens, which was sort of a legendary conflict similar to how we know the Trojan War. From many, many thousands of years ago, many eons ago, that encompasses a period of over 200 years with many plot twists, many points of intrigue, and competing sort of translations and interpretations. But basically, with the 22, you know that the conflict boiled down to the queens of Andake way before there were, 8 distinct nations that we recognize today, sort of sacrificing the common people to advance their own power and their own ploys, which is hence the name of the opening. You recall this information, Øka.
I certainly do. We're here, my people. Drink first or after?
Forgive me, but I think it is in both of our best interests that we wait till after.
Oh, you have so many good ideas, Manaia. So many good ideas.
You need them on the sea. It'll save your life one day. But seriously,
Like you already have.
do you remember when we first met? I'd rather not replay that scene again. Let's just get through this. God, my chest is heaving.
Yeah, the cigar smoke is real bad. Make a constitution save. Just kidding.
Oh my.
Just kidding. Øka, something...
That was dirty, Connie. That was very dirty.
I know. Something catches your eye, Øka. It's the circular coin exchange table, where you can exchange gold for chips that you can use to wager and exchange chips that you win for gold. You also know that sort of to access the monster pits, which you know are underneath the Queen's Gambit, there's like a secret tunnel to get in. But in order to access that tunnel, you need to drop the password of the week to the person at the coin exchange. And it's been more than a few weeks, I would say, since you were last here and knew what the password was.
Øka,
Yeah.
I thought we were here for investigation, not for gambling. Why are we going towards the exchange?
Well, we have to find somebody who knows what the password is.
Oh!
So
Right.
play a few games. Play a few games, okay? Don't worry, I'm great at this.
I'll leave that to you then. I'll stand guard?
You know what? With you watching my back, I don't think anyone is gonna try to mess with us. Sure.
All right, so y'all are trying to look for a table. There are several games available to you that you can play to try to get to know the other people and maybe figure out what the password is. they're all like dice conversion for y'all, if you actually wanted to play them. But there's one that sort of looks, it's a card game where cheating, like lying is allowed, sort of similar to bullshit.
Magic the Gathering.
Or
Called out.
yeah, I guess similar to Magic the Gathering if you play, what is that, Blue Decks? I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I wish I knew Magic the Gathering more.
I wish I didn't.
There are several such games where lying about your hand is part of the play. There is a spinning game, like a top spinning game, and you bet on what the top face is gonna land on. There's blackjack, where you try to reach 21. There's also like other games where, that's just pure chance, like slot machines and like a wheel game. Any particularly appeal to you?
I actually am gonna bypass all of the games and
Okay.
go right for those two fancy fancy wives
Okay.
smoking cigar.
Yes, the two fancy ladies smoking, looking at each other condescendingly, have actually just finished up a card game, and they've both, as you're walking over, they're both sidling over to a bar, and they're sitting down. One of them is a tiefling woman with long auburn hair and eyes the color of midnight, dressed in a ruby red dress. The other woman is a human, rather stocky compared to her companion, but muscular, with short hair and a cascade of tattoos blooming from her neck. Manaia, do you follow?
A little ways away. Close enough to hear what's going on, but far enough away where I would not be assumed to be associated.
Okay. Øka, as you approach, both women turn their gazes, their smoldering gazes, upon you. They look at you to speak.
Good evening, ladies. Pleasure to make your acquaintances.
The tiefling woman says, "What do you want?"
What, I can't have I'm over here to get a drink. And games aren't really my thing. Or at least, not these kind of games. And Øka's gonna thumb their lip a little bit, kind of in a sexy way, but also in a kind of look at this scar that I got from fighting monsters kind of way. You know what I mean?
The human woman sort of looks you over, gives you an appraising glance, and says, "Are you one of the fighters we're sponsoring? I thought you weren't allowed to reveal yourself."
I'm not exactly revealing myself, am I? I just, need to get to where I'm supposed to go.
Which one are you? The bull or the pig?
The bull. Excuse you.
Oh, interesting.
I think that would
bull.
be pretty obvious.
All right, well, I don't want to break any rules or have my ante be voided, says the human woman. We'll see you down in the pits. And they begin to get up to leave.
And to get into the pits.
What? Use the password.
Listen, I'm a fighter, not a mind guy. Okay, listen. I do a lot of training. Okay, I do a lot of training, and I get hit in the head sometimes. Understand?
Oh.
I don't remember the password.
I suppose you are rather hard-headed if you are the bull. You forgot the password, it got knocked out of your head.
Øka pouts.
I grow bored of this conversation. Paragon 8. And the two women begin to sidle off. Are you going to stop them?
Nope.
Okay. They brush past you, Manaia, on their way out. They don't seem to notice that you and Øka are related. And you hear them muttering to each other.
Do they bump into me? Do they physically touch my pristine? No, kidding.
Do you want them to? I mean, they're giving you a berth, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, they're not being antagonistic. They're just walking past you. And
Manaia's worried about getting pickpocketed.
No, you're not. It doesn't seem like they're pickpocketing you unless based on your passive perception, you don't notice anything. Øka, the phrase, the password rings in your head. Paragon 8. And as this ringing we're gonna cut away from this phrase. I'm just trying to work on transitions, okay, guys? Cut me a break here. We're gonna cut over to our most beloved fourth member of the party, V.
Most beloved?
You
Wow. Okay.
favoritism is real. Just kidding. I'm
Stream's
kidding,
over,
guys.
y'all. See you later.
I'm kidding, guys.
Nice knowing ya.
V, you consult the address that Balraj wrote down on a slip of paper to you when your party was first traveling across the northern badlands of Talmud to reach Dr. Oluso's homestead. And as you look from this address and then you look up, you see what used to be an orphanage. This is in the district of Suraksha, so the same district that Dewey's in, but in a far poorer, more run-down place. This is close to where the slums are. You sort of see peeling paint coming off of the pillars. You see like an unkempt, kind of overgrown statue, like altar out front of Yudabathi. You see like some shingles are missing from the roofing, but there's someone sitting outside this kind of dilapidated looking orphanage on a rocking chair. This sort of older grung woman is just rocking with sort of a blank gaze looking out, milky white gaze looking out, and she sort of has her webbed hands folded in her lap. You do hear voices coming from inside, though, so you know it's not totally abandoned. And you can smell maybe dinner cooking, like a stew or something from deeper inside, wafting out from an open window. And finally, you see a brand new poster that's been put up that looks like the newest thing here, right on the door of the house, that resembles a painted chrysalis. What do you do?
There's nobody coming in and out at all, Dicey.
Doesn't seem to be, no. But you just got here.
Right. I actually would like to spend, I don't know, a half hour just scoping the place out, seeing if people come in. I'm particularly looking for Balraj, if I can see him.
You're gonna case the joint without going in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me how you're doing this. Are you, I mean, the grown woman's right there. She doesn't really react to your presence.
Yeah.
Are you trying to sneak around the garden that's sort of around it?
Yeah, is it the type of neighborhood where the buildings are right on top of each other, practically touching, or is there does it have a property around it?
Yeah, sort of think like Chicago brownstones, I guess. You know, they're kind of next to each other, but this orphanage specifically is the only one with a garden nearby, and there's a low kind of broken down shitty iron fence around it that you could easily scale.
So before I get there, I want to do disguise self and just make myself look like
Ronnie?
No, not Ronnie. Just sort of a feeble, much older, let's go with a tiefling.
Okay.
Tiefling, the horns look like they've seen better days.
Sure.
Hair's kind of stringy, just real poor.
Okay.
And
trying to reflect your mental state, perhaps.
Perhaps, and then maybe I'll sit sort of on the property or right on the edge of the property and act like I'm begging for money from anyone who might pass by. Meanwhile, I'm trying to just investigate and see anything unusual or security wise or anything that might be a trap. You're
trying to skirt you're not crossing over the fence to get into the garden in the back of the house though, right? You're just sort of in front?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I'm looking for people that especially Balraj, I'm looking for him specifically, but anyone in the windows or coming in and out.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
As you do this, roll perception for me. You sort of pretend to hobble a little bit in front, asking any passersby for coin. You don't get any. The passersby look, if it's possible, even worse off than you. What did you get?
Yeah. 16.
16. Your eye catches movement through the left first floor window. There doesn't seem to be a curtain, so it's not very hard to see inside. You see what looks to be maybe a kitchen, and you see someone enter. Not Balraj, but the tiefling woman from earlier. that was with Balraj in the soup line, that was also like scooping soup. You remember that her name was Grace. She looks extremely like stressed out. Her hair's like everywhere, and she sort of has this huge pot of soup that she's like carrying into the kitchen. She sort of throws on top of a stove and starts trying to light wood.
I'm gonna cast message to Grace and just in like a ethereal voice as possible, just be like, Balraj needs to go outside.
You don't hear because it's like several feet away, but you do see her sort of flinch, and then you see her like turn, and like her elbow catches the edge of the soup, and the soup bowl starts to tilt over. And then she scrambles, it smashes onto the ground, and stew goes everywhere. And you see her kind of scream, and you see steam rising. The soup was probably kind of hot already. She falls onto the ground, and her dress is covered in stew.
Well, that didn't go well, did it? So yeah, V hears all that, and
well, you see it rather. You hear nothing. It's like a silent movie.
Right. I see all this drama. I'm like, oh shit. So then I'm just gonna go to the old woman and be like, excuse me, do you know where I might get some food? I'm very hungry.
Okay, hold on. You're on the street. Are you calling in through the closed window?
No, now I'm talking to the old lady on the property.
The grunt. Okay, got it. The grunt.
Yeah,
as you turn to her and you say this, are you keeping an eye on the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay. The grung woman doesn't slow down rocking, but she does look up a little with this like kind of vacant gaze. She says, "Who's that? Who's there?" Sorry, grung voice. Who's that? Who's there?
I'm just someone who's a bit down on my luck and needs a little bit of food.
Little bit of food? Well, there's stew cooking on the stove, darling. And you see someone rush into the kitchen, Balraj, start helping Grace up and like wiping her down, and Grace seems to be shouting at Balraj a little, and Balraj looks really confused.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast message to Balraj and be like, "Oh my
god, okay.
Balraj, I need you to come outside."
Balraj flinches, slips on the stew, falls on his ass, and lets out like a cry that you hear through the muffled window. You hear him go, "My tailbone!"
Oh, am I hurting these people?
The grung woman goes, "Are you the devil? Who's speaking to me?"
Wait, why did the grung woman said that?
She appears to maybe have poor eyesight.
Okay. Because everything I just said to Balraj was like, message.
But like she was also referring to what you said out loud too, and she heard. You can intimate that maybe she heard Balraj shouting.
Oh sure. I'm just a humble servant who needs some food in order to keep going.
Well, the Chrysalis will accept you. We accept all. They said that they're going to make me have teeth again, have good eyesight, not ache and hurt all the time. I just have to be loyal and faithful. Go in. The children are always welcoming.
Oh, thank you so much. And then I kind of hobble up to the doorway, and I'm going to keep up with this facade for a little bit. I'm going to feebly just on the door.
It doesn't sound very feeble. It sounds like a touch.
I know. I always picture knocking on the door to be like a giant castle, even if it's a little door.
Okay, sounds good. You hear sort of some like footsteps beyond the door, and you hear deeper in, possibly from the kitchen, hear Balraj's voice go, one second, please. Can someone else, Fatma, can you get the door, please? And you hear a little tip, 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 tip. And the door opens, and you see a tiny felis. It's a race of people that are like cats, like tiny, not tabaxi, but like actual cats, but on their hind legs with like a big head and big eyes. So like Puss in Boots.
Yeah, possibly.
Screaming!
is a sort of a tortoise shell felis, and you notice is has a prosthetic limb, and opens the door for you and says, "Oh, hello there. Can I help you?"
The
Are you here to
ground
join?
told I'm here for food.
Yes, of course. Well, the Chrysalis welcomes all. Come on in. And he, Fatima, you assume, opens the door wider for you to step in. You see sort of like a dilapidated foyer with, just like peeling paint, a staircase that sort of leads up that's like missing a few banister, things from the railing. You can see the kitchen from where you are. You can see a glimpse into the kitchen to your left. And you see stew all over the place. Sorry, we're fixing a kitchen emergency right now. Would you like to join us in the rec room? And have you gotten it processed yet? Are you new?
I talked to someone named Balraj the other day who fed me some food.
Oh, Balaraj, yes. Oh my goodness, he's well on his way to becoming a priest. I think he's. And you hear Balaraj's voice go, "Oh, is someone calling for me?" And he sort of exits from the kitchen, covered in stew, limping a little, holding his tailbone. He goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I might have bruised or sprained something. There was this voice. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't the Chrysalis, sir? Oh, no, the Chrysalis doesn't sound like that in any way at all. Can I help you? I'm not sure if we've met before, actually. I'm Balraj."
And I'm gonna start to extend a palm, but as I do, in a flourish of magical draconic swirling, the disguise just swirls off, and I reveal myself as V, and I'm like, "Hello, old friend."
Balraj starts to stumble back, like he's about to fall over again onto his.
I cast
broken
Mage
toe.
Hand to catch him.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah, I like that. The mage hand catches him, and that's enough pressure to sort of help him steady himself. Fatima's hair poofs up. The tail stands on end, and she jumps back and hisses in fear and shock. But after you introduce yourself, seems to calm down a little. And Balraj goes, "Oh, V, it's you! Oh, you scared me. Hold on. Was that you with the voice and the..."
Yes, and I'm sorry that my presence caused such a catastrophe in your kitchen.
Don't worry about it. Oh, was that on purpose? Catastrophe? And Fatima, goes, I don't like it when you do that. Balraj goes, "I'm sorry." Turns back to you, V, and says, well, come on in. We've been waiting for ages for you. It's just... me and Grace have to figure out a little kitchen emergency, and then we'll be ready to process you for intake.
I was really hoping that I could move. I've traveled a long distance, as you know. We've met each other out in the world, and I'm hoping to talk to someone about these profitabilities that you claim that I have.
Absolutely. I just need to again attend to an emergency in the kitchen. That I don't know if you noticed, but you made us spill stew everywhere. You tricky rascal. But we do appreciate your energy. Fatima, why don't you bring V to the rec room, or to our waiting center, and there are people there who can talk to you. I just need to clean up the kitchen a little bit, and I'll be right with you. Just don't go poking around.
All right, you know me. I'm very trustworthy. I will stay right where you ask me to be.
Okay, great. I know. I always knew I could trust you. I'll be right there, Fatima. And this little Felis says, "Okay, follow me," and begins to lead you down the hallway past the stairs.
And while we're walking, I want to ask, so how long have you been here?
Just about 2 weeks or so. I wanna get really big and tough. That's why I'm here. I always get picked on. I was kind of the runt of the litter. I always get picked on. All my brothers and sisters. I've got a big dragonborn brother and a huge half-orc sister, and he seems I don't know if you've ever met a Felis before, but it's a little hard to clock their age. They look maybe actually on the younger side. You're not entirely sure. Maybe in their late teens. Okay. And I'm using they, he, and she pronouns for this Felis because I've decided they're gender fluid. What about you? How did you find out about the children?
I was traveling with a group to investigate some things after the stars went away, and I ran into Balraj, and it seemed that some magical things happened when we got near each other, and he thinks perhaps I might be a prophet.
A prophet? Really? We only have the one. I didn't know there could be two prophets of the Chrysalis.
You know, we're discovering more and more things about the Chrysalis every day, from my understanding.
Do you think you could be the next Imago?
One can only hope.
Why don't you roll nature for me?
Ooh, nature. I don't even know what nature would be for me.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That is, I think, intelligence, weirdly enough, instead of wisdom. To, like, know facts about plants, I guess. What'd you get?
12.
Imago. I personally, as Connie, might be pronouncing it wrong, but you know with a 12 that, and based on this whole Chrysalis motif, it's sort of like the last stage. It's when the butterfly just emerges, I think, from the Chrysalis. It's known as the Imago. Let me actually look it up to make sure I'm not giving you a lie. Yes, the final and fully developed adult stage of an insect, typically winged.
Okay. You know, if I can somehow contribute to such a wonderful purpose, as I've been in this city for a day or two, and seeing you all do such wonderful work, if I can add to that wonderfulness, I will do whatever I can.
Of course. Well, the rec room's right up front. I'm sure everyone will be so happy to meet you. Wow, another prophet! I can't imagine. And the Felis begins to lead you down out of the corner of your eye, based on your passive perception. Before you enter the rec room, which is sort of like a sitting room, you notice a small door, sort of built into like maybe where under the stairs would lead under the stairs. You're not sure, but you notice like a lock on it. And as you pass this small door, you finally enter the rec room, where you see a bunch of people, ragtag in all sort of states of life and sorriness of life, sitting on like these moth-eaten couches, on the rug, in front of like a unused fireplace, whatnot. You see some people praying in front of an altar that, based on the fact that there are 3 candle holders, used to be for Yudabathi, but has been cleared out and has been replaced with a golden statue of a Chrysalis.
Let's see. And does it look like there's anywhere like where the people are doing this sort of processing at this point?
There seems to be like a little desk. Right as you enter, you see a human woman behind the desk, writing on like a scrap of parchment. As you come in, she goes, "Oh, do we have another one?" And Fatima goes, "Yes, this is V, right? V's here to join." And she goes, "Great, wonderful. Can I have your full name? Do you have any documentation?"
Of course, documentation. Yes, my full name is Victoria Schnauzheiser, and I reach into my bag and I have a perfectly forged document that says Victoria Schnauzheiser on it, and I place it on the table.
She takes it, inspects it, goes, "That looks good," puts it aside and begins to fill out a form. She says, "You can take a seat as I fill this out. Oh, actually, why don't you sit right in front of me?" And Fatima pulls up a stool for you to sit in front of the table. And she says, "Okay, Victoria, V for short, I'm assuming is your nickname?"
You can call me that, sure. It'll be simpler.
"It's nice to meet you. My name's Hari. Why are you joining the children?"
Because I ran into my friend Balraj, and he seems to think that I perhaps may be a prophet.
Oh, wow. Ooh, another Imago. I thought there was only one. But if Balraj said so, it must be true. Let's see. Where in your life do you feel most dissatisfied?
Look at the state of the world. I'm dissatisfied everywhere.
I mean, in your life. Your body.
Well, I've always wanted to be a little more, just more muscular.
Yeah,
I
okay.
just
Okay. A body, muscle dysphoria is what we call it.
yes.
Okay.
That would.
Understood. How far are you willing to go to achieve what you want?
Oh, I would kill someone instantly if I had to.
Wow. Okay. That was actually my next question. Would you kill to achieve your goals? I'll put you down for a yes, not a maybe. Okay.
Enthusiastic, yes.
Enthusiastic. Great. Would you sacrifice your life for the Chrysalis?
Absolutely.
What? Oh, okay. All right, Fatima, we got a winner here. You really are shaping up to be a good prophet. And of course, last but not least, do you swear to never, ever, 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 ever betray us in any shape or form?
I mean, what does betray look like? Does that mean like I leave the group? Does that mean like I try to take you down systemically from the inside? What does betrayal look like?
The latter.
Oh,
Definitely
sure,
the latter of that.
Yeah, I won't do that, I promise.
Okay, wonderful. Now just sign here at the bottom.
Can I investigate this for you? Or like use Arcane? I want to use Arcana.
Yes. Roll Arcana on the form.
I remember these types of contracts from accounting once. 15.
You notice that the parchment, as you're sort of like picking it up, is a little thicker than you would have expected. Similar to like the books the pages out of a spell book. And you also notice, you know how like money, if you hold it up to the light, like has like another image in it. You notice something that might be that.
Okay. I always hate signing contracts in this game. But
While you deliberate over the contract,
yeah.
let's cut to break.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break. We'll be back after 10 minutes for the second half of the episode. Hope everyone's enjoying it so far. We'll be back. Take a bio break, and we will see you later. Love you guys. Peace.
If I go fast instead of slowly, instead of last, if my father survives me, if I explode, if I go up in smoke, if I go quietly, when I go quiet, give my heart to my mother. She'll know what to do. Give my songs to my lover. She'll know what to do. Give my bones to my father. My poems to my sister. My love to one another. Give it all to each other. And I suppose the soul can go to the children. I suppose the trash can go to the museum. I suppose the dreams can go in the casket. I suppose the blood will go where you ask it. Will go where you ask it. Will spill where you ask it. Will spill where you ask. I'll spill where you ask. I'll spill where you ask. I'll spill. I'll spill. I'll spill. I'll spill. I was once the tree, and I was the paper. I was the hair, and I was the razor. I was the leg, I was the table. I was the cloth, and I was was the indigo, and I 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 was a color girl, 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 and I was a color girl.
Beneath the sands of time, a castle and its undead court stirs. Deep in the darkest woods, a wild hunt rages on. And at the edge of a fallen city, a never-ceasing hunger gnaws at the ribs of unlucky souls. In the heart of Vyre, the unholy empire, Queen Saphira of the thrice-cursed House of Fane adjusts her grandmother's crown, fully aware that she is not the only devil scheming in her throne room. And somewhere, ignorant to it all, are 4 bad heroes, with no idea just how unprepared they are. Bad Heroes is a Pathfinder actual play podcast set in a homebrew world with a love of storytelling, roleplay, and the more charming forces of hell. Find us on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
If I go fast instead of slowly, instead of last, if my father survives me, if I explode, if I go up in smoke, if I go quietly, when I go quiet, give my heart to my mother. She'll know what to do. Give my songs to my lover. She'll know what to do. Give my bones to my father. My poems to my sister. My love to one another. Give it all to each other. And I suppose the soul can go to the children. I suppose the trash can go to the museum. I suppose the dreams can go in the casket. I suppose the blood will go where you ask it. Will go where you ask it. Will spill where you ask it. Will spill where you ask. I spill where you ask. I spill where you ask. I spill. I spill. I spill. I spill. I was once the tree, and I was the paper. I was the hair, and I was the razor. I was the leg, I was the table. I was the cloth, and I was the indigo, 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 and I was the color girl, and I was was a color girl, and there was a color girl, and there was a color girl, and there was a color girl. It's the blue light when we're out with our friends. It's the blue light asking where the night should end. It's the blue light saying, come over. It's the blue light and my coat on my shoulders. Lying in your room, playing with your hair. Lying to myself, saying that there's nothing there. There's nothing that we share. No reason to care, no way of knowing where this is going. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing? It's the cold light of the moon when I'm walking home. It's the warm light through my window when I wake up alone. It's the white lies when our friends ask what's going on. It's the white lies when I say we're just fucking and that's all.
We're back! Hi everybody! Welcome back to the second half of episode 9 of Transplanar RPG. If you just got here, use exclamation point recap for a recap of what's been going on. But in the meantime, let's get right back into the action. And we are going to settle our sights on a most unfortunate soul, or not unfortunate, but someone in conflict, let's say. A most conflicted soul indeed. Dewey. You, the back room of Amara's arcane armor and ammunition is larger than you expected. It's actually even larger than the actual store itself. You notice she takes you, the Loxodon woman, trunk swaying, has directed you behind the counter through a door with a lock that she procured, you're not sure where, but from her chainmail somewhere, a key. She unlocked it, and with a click, it swung open on perfectly oiled hinges. As you stepped through the threshold, it's vast, almost like a warehouse. Like, it's huge, actually. Based on what you remember seeing outside, there definitely wasn't, like, another huge store next to this. It's covered in these boxes. These cardboard boxes of varying shapes and sizes are just stacked all over this vast space. That seems kind of dark, actually. There's some floating orbs of light that illuminate the inside, but you can't see any walls or anything like that. But based on like how many boxes there are, it's pretty huge. She moves to close the door behind you.
What's back here?
Oh, this is just. I have to remember her voice. This is the. Was that her voice? This is the back room of my store.
I'd feel more comfortable if we left the door open. I mean, there's no one in the store, right?
It's just customers. Sometimes kids run in. I don't want anyone running in here and getting hurt. I'm just gonna. As she moves to close the door with her trunk.
Okay.
Okay, it clicks shut and locks. And she turns to face you. I know this music is really ominous, but I'm really setting the tone here.
My heart is pounding.
Max, you got a new character coming?
Roll new character. She goes, okay, so that sword of yours, Sonny. That's not her voice. That sword of yours, Sonny. I'm so bad at character voices, guys. That's my greatest weakness as a GM. Why don't you take it out and put it on the floor so we can have a look here? Or do you want a table? And when you sort of turn, you notice there's a table in front of you. That wasn't there before. No, it wasn't there before.
You know, I have to meet up with my I look at my watch. I have to meet up with my friends for dinner, and I'm not really comfortable handling it right now. Can you disenchant things for me?
I can. And that's an interesting watch, Sonny. Where'd you get it?
It was a bonus from my employer.
Wow, your employer gives out watches as a bonus. Must be a popular boss. Mind if I take a look?
Sure.
Do you extend your wrist?
Yeah.
You extend your wrist. The trunk sort of doesn't caress. That's creepy. The trunk extends out as she begins to nose around your watch. And
I make sure she doesn't touch it directly.
Oh, she's moving to touch it directly. Do you draw your hand back?
A little bit.
Oh, what's the matter?
It's I just prefer you didn't touch it.
It's, cursed, isn't it? I can recognize a cursed magical object from miles away, honey. I've been in this magical business for long enough that I've acquired a good amount of eyes. Good eyes to see when items are and aren't magical, when they're cursed or not cursed.
So can you do something about it?
I sure can. I can help you get that watch off. I assume you want it off your wrist. That's one heavy curse, though. It's gonna cost you a lot. And that sword, if you don't mind taking it out, I'd love to take a look at it.
Okay.
Okay?
Don't say that I didn't warn you, though.
Okay. Do you take out the sword?
I take off the sheath, and I set the sheath sword on.
Okay.
And then back away.
Okay. As you back away from the sheath that you've set on the floor or on the table?
On the table.
On the table. You see your sword son vibrating really intensely on the table, rattling immediately, and you can sort of hear the voice growing fainter in your head as you back away. What are you doing, Father? What? I miss you. No, don't leave. Where are we? What's going on? I can't see anything. And then you see this Loxodon woman approach, her big trunk-like feet, thum, 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 as she gets closer to the sword. And then she reaches out her trunk and wraps the tip of it around the hilt and begins to pull it out. Okay? And as the sword is revealed, it begins to shake violently in her hand. She goes, oh, you got a feisty one here. And it whips out all the way, and it's like fighting with her trunk. You know, it's like flying all over the place. But she has like a really strong grip and is able to wrestle it down. And it's just like shaking in her trunk. And you see that the cracked gem on the pommel, the hilt, is glowing very brightly. It's like flashing different colors. You can hear the voice in your head now, distant, but like it's shouting. Like there's someone shouting at you from across the room, being like, Father, that's not you! Don't, stop! Come back!
Can I tell it to chill?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Do you think back or do you call back? Like physically with your mouth? Your beak, I guess.
I'm thinking.
You're thinking? What are you thinking?
It can communicate with me telepathically, right?
Yeah.
So I just am like, can you calm down, please?
That doesn't seem to help it a lot. It just goes, what's going on? What's happening? What's this woman doing to me?
I look at the woman. I'm like, so what?
There's some good news and some bad news. The good news is it's not cursed. The bad news is your sword seems to have gained sentience somehow, which means obviously it has a mind of its own now. Is it talking to you by any chance? Hi there. It says to the sword. The sword goes, I don't want to talk to her. And she goes, if I can do my best to remove the sentience if you want. There are some moral questions that arise from that though. But I can do it if you want me to. Again, it'll cost you a hefty fee. I'm saying, if you can train this sword, it'll be like a guard dog. Really, no one's gonna expect it. This is a powerful magical item. I want to buy it off you, frankly.
I mean,
how about this? If you give me the sword, I'll fix your watch.
I have to think about it. And
Okay.
I pick up the sheath and like extend the open end.
Okay, it really is a shame though. She begins to lower it. And begins to slide it in. So what did you say your name was, Sonny?
Oh, I didn't. Just a traveler.
Just a traveler. Why don't you tell me your name? So I can write you down in my little appointment book if you want to schedule an appointment to come back after you're done thinking about it.
I know where to find you.
What? I guess you do. We're gonna pause on that scene. Okay, we're gonna hit pause. And then we're gonna go to Øka and Manaia.
Hold on, I need a minute.
Okay. Wow, right? Wow.
I was like, oh my god, a cute locksmith woman.
Elephants are evil. Elephants are evil. Apparently. Excuse me, I have to sneeze.
Come on, do it. Do it.
Do it. Sneeze.
Come on,
Sneeze.
do it.
Sneeze.
Stop, I can't. I have sneeze shyness. I can't anymore. Are y'all ready to go back to your monster fighting scene?
Yes.
Okay. Manaia and Øka. The two of you stand in front of the coin exchange, in front of a teller. An elf woman with dark brown skin. She's counting coins and chips. And as you approach, doesn't even look up at you and says, "Alright, what'll it be?"
Paragon 8, darling. For 2.
She pauses, glances up at the two of you, says, "Fourth door to the right." Sort of jerks her head toward a hallway.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See, Manaia, I told you I'm great at this. I promise it's less smoky down there.
Manaia is completely covered by smoke. It seems to cling to her. Because you're so tall, high up, the smoke rises, and it's like all up in your face. That's what you get for playing like a 7-8 character.
Listen.
That's what you get, Devin. You're covered in smoke. Your eyes are watering. You're miserable.
This is Connie's short is coming out.
How fucking dare you? Frankly, how fucking dare you?
Dewey's gonna die!
Dewey, I will kill you.
Transplanar ended today.
Oh right, hydrate redemption. Thirsty bitches. Okay.
Thirsty for some height.
Øka, you address Manaia as you're walking away from the coin counter, and you go toward this hallway to the right. There's 2 bouncers. Huge, burly women. Just big. Not as big as you, Manaia, don't worry. But thicker, for sure. Like wider, definitely. And they both sort of look down at the two of you. And they sort of like move to like cover the hallway entrance a little bit more. And one of them goes, "Password?"
Paragon 8, why would I be coming down this way if I didn't know?
You never know. Some kids like to poke their eyes around. We had a guy really drunk the other day off a raccoon hooch. Try to come in here acting like a raccoon. I don't know. Why would you come down here if you didn't know? You tell me, punk! You tell me, punk! And she sort of works herself into a rage.
Øka kind of leans back a little and like, oh god, I remember the one.
you were drunk on raccoon and acted like a raccoon. Yeah, the other woman goes, hey, Karina, it's okay. Yeah, y'all can pass. Just, make sure to put your masks on. After you pass through the door. And Øka, this is news to you. You've never heard of anything to do with masks at all. Like, ever.
It's the first time I've been back in a while. I'm a vet, you could say. Haven't gotten my mask in the mail yet, though.
What the hell are you talking? It's a bring your own mask situation.
All right, well, I didn't. It's not like you send out monthly newsletters, all right?
Yeah, of course we don't. Why would a crime ring send out monthly newsletters? Think about it.
Okay, well then how was I supposed to know that I needed a mask?
Okay. I've got this. We'll put our masks on.
Oh, okay. I thought you just said you didn't have any, though. That's suspicious.
Okay.
That's weird.
Rather. My friend didn't have theirs, but they seem to have forgotten that I'm covering for them today.
Ah, got it. I was just gonna say, it's a little suspicious that you know what the password is, but not the fact that you need masks. Almost makes me think you're sneaking in here for some nefarious purpose. But I'm just a bouncer, what do I know? Go ahead. Okay. The two of you make your way past these muscular women. You hear Karina go, I really wanted to pound that one's double pupil face in. Yes, Øka?
Øka kind of prods Manaia's shoulder a little bit with their finger and is like, are you carrying around masks in your big coat?
Well, I can't say I've dedicated a pocket to it quite yet. But... And she looks back at the bouncers. Are they watching?
Nope.
She takes off her cloak, bends down, puts a foot down, and rips off two long straps out of the very bottom hem of her cloak.
That's
long
smart.
enough to wrap around your head.
Oh, Manaia, I could just use my... Okay, well...
What's done is done. I'll get a new cloak at some point.
I actually really like that idea. Why don't you take inspiration for that, Devin?
Thank you.
It's really cool.
It's
Now
too hot in here. Too hot in here to wear a big coat like this anyway.
Øka's gonna pull out their sword and use the tip to make eye holes, you know?
Cool. So you're both cool. Why don't
no. I was thinking like a this sort of mask.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Like a reverse Zorro mask.
Kind of like a bandana.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know who Zorro is, but sure.
Zorro! Antonio Banderas? Never mind. So as the two of you are fashioning this, I'll just say it succeeds. That's fine. You're walking down this hallway and you see there are these paintings that look like they're really good paintings. Lining the hallways. They look like masterpieces, actually, of landscapes of Dabathati, of the gods, at their altars. You see Udabathi, leaning down, bringing what it looks like weapons and war to the people. Just beautiful, breathtaking paintings, actually, lining this hallway. And you both notice in the corner of each of these paintings, sort of etched into the bottom right edge, is a big O with 10 X's around the rim. That Øka you recognize as the sigil of the Aurochs Guild. And as you walk further in, you count the doors. Go ahead.
Is that for your name?
Aurochs?
No, the symbol.
Oh, yeah.
The O with the X.
Yes, the O with the X's all around.
I think it's pronounced ox. Sucks.
You count the doors. There are doors here. You don't really hear noises coming from behind any of them, but you count the fourth one down to your right. And you reach it. Just seems like a normal door. The hallway extends for deeper.
Alright, listen, Manaia. I know that, you probably have the best heart of anyone I've ever met. You might not like this place.
I Rest assured, I knew what I was getting into when I told you we should go together.
All right, just making sure. But I have your back.
And I yours.
Øka opens the door.
Staircase. Descending deep, deep, deep down into the earth.
Down we go.
Okay. As you go deeper, the stairs start out wooden, with like wooden walls, and then they turn suddenly, abruptly, into stone. And the smell of the smoke and the perfumes and the cigars and the alcohol begin to fade from your senses, becoming replaced with the smell of damp earth, the underground. And of course, as you go deeper and deeper, the smell of blood becomes a lot more prominent. And the noises of the gambling parlor fade out, of the Queen's Gambit, and are replaced with, from the distance, growing ever louder and louder, noises of shouting. A huge, vast crowd underground. And then you turn a corner and abruptly you're there. You see a sort of vast underground coliseum, and you've entered from one of many entrances, sort of like circling all around the Colosseum. This thing has got to be big enough to cover at least like 2 blocks of Dabathati, like underneath. So think like the pro bending arena in like Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Øka, this is an upgrade significantly from the last time you were here. When you were here, the pits were not even half this size, if even like a fourth this size. There were not nearly as many seats in the audience. This thing looks a lot more professional, it looks a lot more intense, and you notice every single person in the audience is wearing an ornate masquerade mask.
Damn, they fucking upgraded. This is fucking awesome. Holy shit. Okay, like pulls their mask up, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Øka reaches for her hood that used to be there. Fumbles for a bit.
Okay. As you pull like your masks up, they definitely pale in comparison to other people's masks, but no one seems to cast you like a second look. Everyone seems to be dressed up too, like dressed like pretty nicely, similar to those women that you saw earlier. And you notice as you're looking down at this arena, there's like the front row seems to be VIP. Like the front, like the best seats in the house seem to be VIP. They're like cordoned off with red like rope. And there are a couple empty seats even that people have to like stand instead of being allowed to sit in like the VIP area. And you see the arena itself is pretty big. It's active. Stuff is happening already as you like walk in. There seems to be, based on your vantage point, several people in the pit, maybe 3 or 4, and they seem to be brawling with a huge sort of like beast in the middle. Øka, you recognize this beast as a manticore. Manaia, you see this like huge lion, like but much bigger than an actual like regular lion-like creature with bat wings and like a wickedly curved scorpion tail coming out, and it seems to let out like a rattle and a hiss at the same time. It's like its mane is also spiked, and its face looks sort of just like a lot more vicious than a regular lion, and its like tail seems to like rattle and hiss as it like turns to pivot at the 4 combatants in the arena. The combatants are not masked, or rather their masks have fallen off. Most of their masks have fallen off during the fight. One of them still has a mask on. They have various weapons. One of them holds a trident with a net. Another one has like a long sword out. Someone else is wielding dual daggers. And a 4th one is just casting spells with like a focus in one hand. And they're like blasting at this manticore. And you also notice the manticore suddenly takes off the ground, and its wings start beating really heavily. Even from where you are, you can feel like the gusts of wind blasting up from the audience and hitting you. And then the manticore hits something that sparks. Looks like maybe an invisible force field. And it lets out like a pained cry, and it like a pained, angry cry, and it lowers itself so it doesn't hit the force field again. And you hear someone's voice, an announcer, sort of echoing all around this Colosseum, going, and the Manticore's down! It seems to have forgotten the fact that there's a force field over the arena. Good news for our adventurers, bad news for our monsters, some say. After complaints we've gotten from audience members getting carried off by harpies and griffins and stuff like that, we've instituted this force field for all of your viewing pleasure. Place your bets, people! Who's gonna deal the killing blow? You hear, this voice all around you. What do you do?
Commend Connie on that announcer voice. As a person who worked on the radio. Very good. Manaia glances at Øka to lead.
Øka, this is new territory. I think they're, trying to figure out, okay, fuck, where the fuck do we sit? But they're eventually, I think, just going to kind of, grab Manaia's, just, part of her shirt, or her jacket, and just, start pulling. Trying to get, instead of trying to go down closer, going to go up and around to try to get a better vantage point, from up high, if that makes sense. Where there are less people.
Sure. Manaia, are you letting this happen?
Yeah, I'm following.
Okay, Manaia, as you follow, why don't the two of you make a perception check for me, generally speaking, just at the arena and the audience, let's say. See what else you might notice.
12.
12. Øka?
17.
Y'all have a lot of inspiration, just, so you can reroll, liberally at this point. You have a lot of collective. You have 10 collective inspiration right now, just so y'all know. And your individual inspiration. And the natural 20 that anyone could use. Based on your rolls, Manaia, you're just sort of taking everything in. This is really overwhelming. The clientele's, the people, extremely diverse, tons of people. There's got to be at least 100, 200 people in this arena. Øka, you cast your gaze out over the audience, and for some reason your eye seems to catch a specific VIP booth that's close to the front. There is a ton of bodyguards around this one person. At least 5, 6 bodyguards, very big and suits looking like they mean business. Real fucked up bodyguards. And you don't see her face. Based on where you are, her back is sort of to you, you're behind her. But you do see a kind of frilly pink parasol that's open and covering the back of this person who's being guarded. That does stand out to you.
Is there anything about it that rings out to me?
As you squint, with your high roll, as you squint at the parasol, you notice that there's kind of girlish, very intricate frilly stitching on the parasol that resembles an O with 10 X's around the rim.
In that case, I'm going to try to move us kind of on a diagonal, but close. Or actually, maybe I'm going to... Okay. Theater of the mind. Let's go. It's kind of down just below us.
Okay.
I'm going to try to lead us all the way to at least a fourth of the way over.
Okay.
So that we can look at that person better.
Okay. That works. As you're making your way, the battle rages on. If we look at D&D combat, one round is 6 seconds or something. One turn is 6 seconds. So at this point, the Manticore is heavily wounded, and is sort of flailing on the ground as this huge guy is driving his trident in. The magician is blasting it from the rim, staying very close, away from the Manticore, and letting her companions sort of be the main one to attack it. And as you finally find yourself on the correct angle to take a look at this person's face, you notice a half-elf woman with these pointed ears. She's albino and is wearing an eye patch, a black beautiful kind of goth eye patch over her right eye, and she's wearing this really kind of Lolita style frilly white and pink dress. She looks young. But age can look deceptive on an elf's face. Mm-hmm. You've never seen her
I'm going to settle... Okay. Are there seats where we are?
Not a lot, but there are.
Okay. Are there two next to each other?
Yeah. Yeah, let's say there are. Yeah.
Oka's gonna sit then.
Okay.
And kind of lean in conspiratorially toward Manaia and watch the ring.
Okay. Are y'all just gonna
This
watch
is,
for a bit?
This is pretty different than the last time I was here. It's, always kind of been a shitty place. I don't love watching monsters kill each other, but this seems... there used to be scholars, monster hunters, people who were training to fight monsters. But this is gratuitous.
Yeah. As you say this, you notice people, there's tons of, people, you notice people, moving through the crowd who are all dressed sort of in the same uniform, the same, black suit, with a gold tie, who are collecting money, bets from people. They're just collecting bets, and they're, handing them, chips and placards to sort of mark, what they're betting on. And you hear the MC go, all right, it looks like the battle's winding to an end here. Place your final bets on who's gonna deal the killing blow for that huge payout. Yeah, it seems to have gotten a lot more lucrative since you were last here, Øka.
Well, first of all, before those people in suits come, they're gonna ask us for our bet. Where do you suggest we put it?
I always like to bet on the monsters.
Let's do it then. Now, we're here for Raji, was it?
Ravi,
my
teacher.
Yes. Are you gonna try to scan the crowd looking for her?
Yeah, I think maybe Øka was just like, oh right, that's why we're here.
Right, don't forget why you're here. So with your 17, you were not able to see Raji in the audience. I'm gonna be straight up and say, if she were here, it would take a really high perception check to spot her among the throng and with everyone's masks on. It would take it's almost impossible, I would say.
As well as those
However,
things, those monsters that they've got in the pit. They have those shadow creatures, or so we've heard.
You know that a manticore is native to Andake. This
Right.
is like a regular monster. Maybe you haven't seen Manaia, but have heard of. This is certainly not one of those freaky, weird new empty spawn.
The other reason why we're here.
Yes.
well, I can't fucking see anyone in this crowd, but I know certainly how we could get Ravi's attention if she's here.
Okay.
Good. Smiles a little.
Okay.
As you say that, the
I mean,
manticore...
it would be
The manticore lets out a final pained, furious screech, and then it dies. As the person wielding the double daggers deals the killing blow, and the crowd goes crazy. And a lot of people look really mad. A lot of people also look elated as cash begins to flow. And you see a couple jockeys run out from the edges of the arena and start dragging the dead body of the manticore away. And you see a grate open, sort of in a coliseum, and the dead body of the manticore is dragged away. And the adventurers sort of are preening to the audience, and then they too leave through an opposite grated door.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're collecting soul sacks, right? 2 birds, 1 stone, or 1 sword, I suppose. 1 axe. That's 2 weapons.
I was hoping we'd have the others if we were going to fight in the arena, but since we're here...
So
get us in.
what are y'all doing? What's the plan here?
Øka has fought in the arenas before.
Yes.
How back then would you be entered? I imagine it was just kind of you tap. It was a lot closer, and you would just tap.
You would just go down and tap whoever's in charge, and you could just hop. There wasn't a force field. There were a lot of deaths, audience deaths, and injuries because of this. You could just sort of hop over the fence and go in. But this is a lot bigger. There seems to be procedure, hierarchy to how this is structured now. So you're not exactly sure, but the answer comes to you. as the arena is cleared, and you see like someone driving two bulls who are dragging like a thing to like replow the dirt of the floor, like dragging like a huge like metal claw. And you hear this like voice ring out again, this MC go, "All right, and now on to the final set piece of the evening before we get into our night entertainment, a special beast." And like excitement begins to ring out through the seats. "A beast that no one's seen until after the vanishing." And the entire like crowd goes wild and everyone's like extremely excited. He goes, "We do of course have our pre-registered fighters, but as always, if anyone would like to sign up, head on down to Miss Saram."
All right, come on, let's go.
Both of you?
I suppose.
Where
Gonna get ourselves killed, it might as well go down a blaze of damn glory.
are you going? Are you sort of scanning the crowd to see if other people are headed toward a particular person or a direction?
Yes, and if there's one of the what are they called? Bookies.
Mm-hmm.
Øka would tap them and like furiously be like, "Who's
Miss
person's name?
Saram?
Where are we going?"
You don't even really need to. As you're looking around, just with your perception checks from earlier, you see like a small like line of people. See, people aren't super eager to fight, but the people who are really eager, like you. People are getting up and lining up, forming a line down at the VIP area where the woman in the parasol is. But she doesn't turn around. It's one of her bodyguards that addresses all the fighters, and you see the bodyguards actually turning some people away from the fight. And some people look really upset. Do you line up?
Yes, with a little bit of shoving past
Okay.
others.
Okay. And Manaia?
Manaya's following, not shoving people, but following close behind.
As you follow close behind, moving, the smell of sweat, bodies bumping against you, but you're huge. You're able to wade through them like a shark through a school of fish, opening up opportunity for Øka. You finally get down. There are a couple people in front of you. You see like a dwarf man go, I can fight, to one of these huge, burly bodyguards. This dragonborn man. Kind of reminds you of Sievert, but isn't Sievert. And he goes, "You don't look like you're very tough. You're not going to give him a good show." And the dwarf goes, "No, I promise I will." "Nah, I don't think so, bud. Get out of the way." The dwarf's like, "I can prove it to you." And the Dragonborn goes, "Really?" And just sort of kicks him aside. And he sort of like tumbles over and he goes, "How are you going to stand a chance against a face stealer if you can't even beat me?" And the dwarf goes, curses and moves. And now it's your turn to sort of pledge yourselves, prove yourselves.
Oh, what? Oh, what?
Is that
Does
to me
that
as a
name
GM?
mean anything to me? Yeah.
Face stealer? You've never heard that before.
Can I use my Hunter's Bane to get advantage on a wisdom or on an intelligence check?
Yes,
to
you can.
recall-
You can, bitch. You
Okay.
can. All right, go for
Oh,
it.
that was a natural 19. And that was a natural 20! Hey!
Whoa, hey!
And let me add my intelligence, which is a +2, so that's 22.
22.
Actually, have I heard of a face?
You have never
I
heard of
do.
a face stealer before?
Oh my god.
With your natural 20, okay? This is definitely one of these new strange creatures that have spawned since the Cataclysm. And based on the name, probably steals your face. Just so you know. You pull up. The Dragonborn man instantly looks kind of impressed by your size, Manaia. Looks up at you and says, "Okay, your masks kind of suck. It's not very performative, you know. We want people who can give us a good show."
Øka pulls their mask down and is like, "Yeah, your attitude kind of fucking sucks, you douchebag. Let us through."
What the hell did you just... Based on that, I'm gonna disqualify you. But before the argument can get any further, you see, kind of behind him, a white gloved hand raise. And he falls silent immediately. And then the parasol moves a quarter inch to the side, and you see the profile of this woman, this elf woman, right? Regal nose. And when she speaks, you notice her teeth are black. Pitch black. And she says, "It's quite all right. They seem feisty. Let them through." And this big dragonborn says, "Yes, Mr. Realm." And sort of jerks his head toward like a little path that's been opened for you. Another bodyguard removes like the rope and lets you go down all the way to like the fencing area of the Colosseum. There's like a little box area. You know how where like hockey players sit when they're like in timeout? There's like kind of like a little box like that where like maybe 3 or 4 other fighters are that have been let through. None of them really stand out to you except for one. And both of your attentions are torn between this woman and the monster that is being brought into the arena. You hear the screeching of metal against wood as the grates open again, and no fewer than like 10, like, jockeys have like their like, they have like the sticks, the poles with the loops on the end to sort of like control like rabid animals, but they have it on like various limbs and the long neck of this extremely grotesque looking creature that seems to be an amalgamation of limbs with a really long neck and a person's weeping face at the end of that neck, and like 3 pairs of limbs that end in long claws. It's a large creature, and decorating its fleshy hide is a stitching of a ton of other faces that are all like weeping and crying, and crying out in anger or they look blank. But it's not completely covered. There are a few empty spots on this creature's body, and it's like thrashing, and the bookies, they seem to like they pound a button on the end of their poles all at the same time, and this it seems to like electrify this creature, and it jerks, and it seems to power down, and it stops moving, and the bookies the jockeys use this as an opportunity to get the fuck out of there. They like take the hooks off and they just run, they scram, and then like the grate closes again. And then the other fighters in the box with you stand, including the woman who catches your eye. She's 6'2", and she's a tiefling with skin kind of as dark as the sea. And she wears this like studded leather armor that's outfitted with black feathers. And her armor is also sleeveless, which reveals these like muscular arms sort of veined with intricate golden tattoos of like ravens, like all over her arms. And finally she has this like long tangled kind of black hair flowing out past her like protruding horns, flowing down her spine, and in one sort of against her hip, looped around her hip, is a braided wicked black whip. She stands.
Bonnie, you're just giving us so many wives today.
And the door slides open. Any words before we move on to V's scene?
Nope.
Okay. V. The contract.
Yes. Excellent. So I'm assuming she's still holding the pen out to me. So
Yep.
I'm gonna be like, what happens if you don't know how to write?
But, excuse me, honey? You're illiterate?
Well, I never really learned how to write. I can sometimes read a little bit of signs, like enough to get around, but not particularly good at writing.
That's okay. We have something just for that. And she holds out like a pad of ink. Says, your thumbprint works too.
All right. I'm going to put my thumb into the ink.
Okay.
And then I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to cast light on the ink on my thumb. So all of a sudden it starts like glowing.
Okay.
And I'm going to start panicking and be like, oh no, not again. This everybody. And B like stands up and starts like freaking out and be like, everybody get away. And I'm going to start sneezing. Chew. Achoo! And then on one, like every time I sneeze, my hands are close to my nose. And on the third one, I'm going to sneeze and cast Ray of Frost onto the contract.
Okay.
All over the contract.
Okay.
Ice all over the desk and the contract.
Okay.
And I'm like, And then I'm gonna sneeze again, chew, and I'm gonna use minor illusion to cause like a green spirit to fly around the room, and then just like dissipate. And then I'm gonna sneeze again and use minor illusion to make it sound like a beast is like growling from inside of me. And then I'm gonna sneeze and cause Mage Hand to fly out of my nose, swirling around, pick up the chair that I was sitting on, fling it across the room and dissipate. And then I'm just gonna like hold still, and breathe, and then the light is gonna go down. Like I'm gonna let that dissipate. And I'm like, is everybody okay?
You want fries with that? First of all, Erica, I gave you inspiration for that. Second of all, what are you doing? What the hell happened?
Well, now the contract is covered in ice. I can't sign it yet.
Okay.
We have to wait for it to thaw.
Okay. The woman at the counter has like a little bit of frost on her face. She goes, are you okay? Oh no, the contract. Oh, it's okay. I'll just drop another one.
You know, let's. I'm a little tired right now. I think I need to rest before this has been happening to me ever since things went away, and I'm just. Do you have a bed somewhere I could rest in?
Oh yes, of course. It's upstairs, up the stairs. And that's where all our bedrooms are. Of course you can take a rest. I totally understand. I don't exactly know what the hell just happened there. But I'm not going to question it. Once dinner's ready, we'll call you down and we can take care of the contract then.
Perfect. That sounds wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Again, up the stairs, just up. You can find a spare bed.
All right. And I'm going to just like slowly just creak along as if I just went through a major ordeal, go up the steps.
Okay.
Make sure, like, I want to look around to see if anyone's, like, following me or watching me.
People looked at you when you were doing your sneeze, glow, freeze, spirit, whatever. But people have sort of settled down. They're either praying again, or they're rocking back and forth, or they're snoring on the couch or talking to each other. None of them are really paying you any attention.
All right.
Yeah. And V, as you leave, are you walking back down the hallway toward the stairs?
I want to take one last look at the door that's locked with a padlock on it.
You take one look at that door, and your charlatan background, that lock does not look very well guarded. You're like, you could probably pick that real easy.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to stealthily go that way, but then cast minor illusion to make it sound like I'm going up steps. Just
Sounds
making
good.
the sound of creaking going up
That's
there.
really smart, actually. I'll give you another point of inspiration for that. Now your bases, I'm intentionally, just so y'all know, fully loading your bases, because the next episode is going to be a snafu. As you do that minor illusion, seems to work. No one seems to like poke their head into the hallway, and you look around. You're completely alone in the hallway.
Yeah, so then I'm gonna try to open this lock.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check with your thieves' tools. I'm assuming you have thieves' tools based on your background. I don't know if you've used them before.
I have not. Hold
Okay.
on.
Minor...
You said sleight of hand is.
Yeah, sleight of
for
hand for dexterity. Yep.
25 yatches.
It creaks open. You just... That's it. It was like you had the key. It was
Yes.
not only fast, but it was silent and effective. And without a noise, the door swings open. And you see, similar to what Øka and Manaia saw, a staircase leading down. This isn't just like a Harry Potter, like, under the stairs room. It's a staircase leading underground.
I'm gonna go right down. Let's go.
Okay. V, are you leaving the door open or closing it behind you? Do you palm the lock?
I will put the lock. What kind is it? The kind where like it's a latch that you have to close over?
Yeah, it's like a padlock with a latch.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna cast Mage Hand.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put the lock in there as best as I can.
Okay.
And then close the door and use the Mage Hand to like put the latch over, so like it looks like the lock is there, even
Okay.
though you could just swing it open if you wanted to.
Wonderful. You do that. And slowly swing it shut. It's completely dark in here. There doesn't seem to be any light source. Do you like cast light on your hand or something?
Yeah, I'll just my gem in my hand. I'll
Great.
start to glow.
Holding your gem out in front of you like a flashlight, even though there's no such thing as a flashlight because it's medieval fantasy. V, you slowly descend the steps. Something about this feels wrong. As you descend deeper and deeper underneath this orphanage where the children of the Chrysalis are operating, the smell is what alerts you to the sense of wrongness first. It's the smell of blood. The second thing that alerts you is the sound. The sound of crunching bone and eating. The third thing that alerts you is your light. As you sort of like reach, I'm assuming you're stopping when you hear this,
Yeah.
but when you sort of like hear all these things, your light falls on the edge of something rather horrific, which is the bottom of this basement area, let's say, is where you see, first of all, you see several cages filled with ripped clothes and just like blood. The cages are open, and you see two familiar-looking creatures, those sort of like featherless bipedal jaw dog creatures that attacked you in episode 1, are eating what appear to be what used to be people. They're eating them. There's at least 2 of these creatures. They don't seem to have noticed you yet. They're sort of in a feeding frenzy. That is what you see, V. Any last words before we transition back to Dewey?
Well, what a pleasant surprise.
Okay, and now we cut back to you, Dewey. In this strangely huge, vast back room, impossibly vast back room of this magic shop. You are holding out the sheath, right, to your sentient sword that this Loxodon woman holding with her trunk is about to slide in. She asked for your name, and you refused her. And as she's close to sliding the sword in, she says, just, one last thing, how's your wife and kid? And the trunk turns into a hand, which turns into an arm, rippling all the way up, until this is no longer a Loxodon woman, but a man with a hound's head. You've seen this man once before in your life. Back when you were traveling through the forests of Tulong. He had introduced himself, and he reintroduces himself again as the Myriad. Remember me? Prepare to die. And that was the backstory we unlocked. And we're gonna end the session there.
The backstory is that I'm going to die.
Fuck!
We're gonna end the session there.
Oh my god.
Wow. So our next episode is going to be on Halloween, which I think is pretty accurate. Let's do our little outro. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the raids that happened. Wow, amazing. Thank you for the new follows. My name's Connie. I'm the GM and executive producer of Transplanar RPG. We are an all-transgender, person of color-led, 100% homebrew Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live-streamed campaign. We have been streaming our main campaign every other Saturday from 3 p.m. until 5 p.m. Central, but starting in November, we're transitioning to a weekly schedule, so you can catch us every Saturday in November and onward, starting at 3 p.m. Central on Twitch. Our next episode, episode 10, is going to be a really big episode. First of all, it's our first foray into the double digits, woo, of our session, but also it's going to take place during our special Halloween marathon stream from 12 p.m. noon until 12 a.m. midnight Central. Right here, we are going to be streaming to celebrate 1,000 Twitter followers. Speaking of which, follow us on Twitter at Transplanar RPG. We are going to be streaming our main campaign at the usual time from 3 to 5, episode 10. So if you're interested in that, please come back and catch it. And we're also going to be having like a tattoo session where C is going to tattoo their body with a logo of your vote that y'all are going to vote on in our Discord. We're going to have a Discord dance party at the end, so join our Discord if you're not in it already. We're going to play video games. We're going to play silly party games. We are going to have a jam session with Devin and me. We're going to have a poetry reading session. Lots of fun stuff, so definitely swing by anytime from 12 to 12 Central, Halloween, October 31st. And yeah, that's me as Connie. You can follow me on Twitter right here at @byConnieChong on Twitter. And you can also, I run the Transplanar RPG Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at Transplanar RPG. I'll pass it on to C.
I don't even know what to say. What a session. My name is C. My name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I'm a digital artist, content creator, jack of all hats. I'm a jack of all hats. That's actually kind of cute. I'm a jack-o'-lantern of all hats. Anyway, I did the art for this campaign. My commissions are open. I play Øka. I love y'all so much, and I want to give a really quick special thank you to Cora for donating to me an amazing webcam. I'm using it right now. It really warms my heart. Thank you so much for that. And I'm going to pass it right along to Max.
Hello, I'm Max. I go by they, them pronouns. I play the soon-to-be-deceased Dewey Corey. You can find me screaming about it on Instagram and Tumblr at Starchmonger. Yeah. I'll pass it to Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica, she, her pronouns. You can find me here on Twitch at Erica Newgirl, and I especially would invite you to this coming week is my birthday week. I am turning 4 years old. And on Thursday through Friday, I will be having a birthday stream on my Twitch channel.
Yay!
So you can come by anytime from 2 p.m. to 2 p.m. Come near the end. See how just wildly sleep deprived I get. Celebrate my birthday. It's going to be all sorts of funs and games and silliness, so come hang out. I will pass it on to Devin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Devin, and I'm screaming my eyes out. I use them pronouns. I have no internet presence, but as... How do you even pronounce your Twitch name? Lepsview? Toaster puts it. Join the Discord!
Yes, join the Discord!
I'm pretty I'm active there to make up for my lack of social media. I played the also soon-to-be-deceased Manaia.
Yep.
Join us as we all die in 2 weeks.
I am finally going to get my TPK, I think. Is that everyone? I think that's everyone, right?
We're not even going to be together.
You're going to die separately in Dabathati. You got to reroll new characters. Dr. Aluso.
3 heads.
Dr. Aluso's just like
standing by the mirror. No,
by the mirror, waiting for you. But with that, we're gonna sign off. Thank you so much to everyone who swung by, who followed, who interacted in chat. We freaking love you. Thank you so much. We're excited to see you in the Discord. Please tune in again on Halloween at 3 p.m. if not any other time Central. We would love to have you there for our big episode 10 payoff. Stick around after the goodbye screen comes up. We're gonna raid, let's see, Imani, Margaret Catter TV, who is crafting things. So yeah.
Yes.
We love you guys.
You can catch me on Tuesday playing first blind run of Hades. I've never played it before. I'm super excited. I'm bad at video games, so come find me on Tuesday at 7.
Yes, we have video gaming nights on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Join us then. That's every week, not every other week. And we will see you then. Peace.